guys, it's Adi here with Geek on Gadgets, and today we have a comparison between the LG V10 and the LG G4. So this is going to be a quick hardware and specs showdown to see, basically run down the differences between the two devices. Now of course the V10 is the newer of the two devices, and it's the first device in the V lineup, which is LG's new top of the line, pushing the envelope specs and attempts at weird stuff. Well, the G4 is obviously their more standard flagship. It's follow-up to the G2 and G3, has everything you could want in a flagship. So basically the main difference between these two is going to be the new features that the V10 pushes, as well as build quality. So starting off on the outside, you can tell of course that the G4 they made a big deal about the design with its leather back, and it's pretty awesome, and I fell in love with it. But when I saw the V10, I fell in love again with the V10's new silicone durable back that's completely flexible and bendable, and it can take a beating. And not just that, the G4 has plastic. It's leather and plastic. The V10 is military grade basically. It's durable silicone with a metal build, and that makes it really nice. Of course, however, the metal build and the larger screen size and everything means the V10 also weighs more. So starting off the comparison in terms of pure numbers, the V10 weighs 192 grams, while the G4 weighs 155 grams. So there's a notable difference in the weight between the two. Although the V10 is the larger of the two devices, it's actually slimmer than the G4. The V10 is only 8.6 millimeters thin, while the G4 is 9.8 millimeters. So there's a bit of a difference between the two, but nothing serious. And actually both devices hide it well because of the way the back arcs and curves. Moving to the front of both these devices, the V10 also has a larger 5.7-inch 2K display, while the G4 has a 5.5-inch 2K display, meaning that the V10's PPI is 515, while the G4 is slightly more, 538 PPI. And of course, the more interesting part about the V10 is its second screen up here, with its 160 by 1040 resolution used as a ticker to see the time, date, and everything else about the phone. You can also control quick toggle settings. So both screens on both devices are pretty impressive. I would definitely take this V10 over the G4 in terms of just the second screen that, although some people might consider a gimmick, it's actually pretty useful in daily life. On the front of the phone, besides the actual screen, the V10 also has a second front-facing camera. It has two front-facing cameras, both of them 5 megapixels. One of them is a narrow angle or normal around 80 degree lens, and the second one is made for slightly fisheye. It's a 120 degree lens and gets a larger angle. It's a really pretty cool lens. And the G4 has an 8 megapixel lens, which takes some great selfies. So the G4 obviously has the better 8 megapixel front-facing camera, but the wide angle lens on the V10 has its charm to it, especially when you're trying to get a full outfit or getting more than one people in the same selfie. It's a lifesaver. When it comes to the main camera, it's almost exactly the same. Both phones have the same 16 megapixel f1.8 aperture lens. It's actually the same module that they had in the G4. They put it in the V10, and they made some fine-tuned enhancements for the video recording in the V10, where you have full manual control over the video settings, so you can adjust the ISO and the white balance while filming the video manually. Both obviously also have LG's laser autofocus and the LED flash, as well as a color spectrum sensor. Beneath the camera, you also have the rear-facing buttons, the volume rockers, and the power button, which is something LG have been piloting for a while now. However, the V10 goes the extra mile by also adding a fingerprint sensor into the power button to unlock your phone using biometrics, something the G4 does not have at all. When it comes to internals, both the devices are once again pretty identical, except for the V10 also edging out the G4 a bit again. Both devices have the same Snapdragon 808 processor with a quad core. Both the devices have a quad-core Snapdragon 808 processor. However, the V10 comes with 4 GB of RAM versus the 3 GB found in the G4. So it has more processing power under its belt, and it has a little more oomph in its punches. In terms of storage, both devices obviously take Expandable Sd Storage, something LG is very proud of. However, the built-in storage of the G4 is only 32 GB, while the V10 comes with 64 GB of built-in storage, plus of course the expandable storage up to 2 TB. And finally, when it comes to the battery, both phones have the same 3000 mAh battery. However, you'd expect the V10 to have a little bit worse battery life, considering the fact that it has a larger screen, a second screen that's always on, and just more processing going on. However, the battery life on the V10 has been quite impressive, and I found it to be the same, if not better, than the G4's battery life. So that was it for our quick rundown between the V10 and the G4. Personally, I take the V10 any day of the week over the G4, although they're both great devices, but the V10 just has more appeal to it, has more things going on, more things to show off to your friends about. Does the larger screen size of the V10 put you off? I don't know. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys around.